Let's talk about the best and worst ADP values next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Welcome to FFT in 5. I'm Chris Towers. I'm here with Dave Richard, and I really like Joe Mixon's price right now. Over the last week in NFC drafts, we're talking about 32 drafts, not the biggest sample size, but his average draft position is 47.6. That makes him RB 15. And actually, among running backs, I think that's a fair price. 15th, that sounds about right. I think I have him 12th, but I've got him as like a top 25, top 30 type player, and he's going right around the end of the 4th round, which is why, as in the draft that we did on Tuesday afternoon, I'm drafting a lot of Joe Mixon. I really like the price. I really like the opportunity in Cincinnati. Samaje Perine's gone, and we saw last year, as bad, as mediocre as Joe Mixon has been over the past couple of seasons, it's hard for him not to be a top 12 running back in this offense. He's going to get 250 plus carries. He's probably going to get 70 or so targets. He's going to get goal line opportunities. And last season, he was really pretty mediocre as a goal line carrier and still ended up being right around top 12 in points per game. So if there's any regression there, we know the opportunities are going to be there. I like Joe Mixon. And the one I don't like, and Dave will get a couple from you after that.
Okay.
I can't get on board with Drake London. Over the last week in NFC drafts, 42.7 is his ADP. He's more in like the 65 range for me, which is actually where his teammate Kyle Pitts is going, 66.4. And that's what I really struggle with, is just, I think it's fine to prefer Drake London to Kyle Pitts. I have them ranked very close to each other. I think they're got to be ranked very similarly in this offense, where if Kyle Pitts has 900 yards and Drake London has 900 yards, Kyle Pitts is going to be the better fantasy player. And I think that's a reasonable expectation for both of them. Give me the tight end. Dave, let's hear some of your favorite values first.
I love Tony Pollard toward the end of round 2 on NFC ADP this month. He's at 22.38. I haven't been in a draft where he's gone that late. So if this is an analyst versus home league thing, and the home leagues haven't caught up to Tony Pollard, I got a feeling that they will. What an opportunity that he's got going for him in Dallas without Ezekiel Elliott there. Should have a pretty good path to getting short yardage goal line carries. That's on top of being one of the most elusive and explosive running backs in the National Football League. Averaged over 15 PPR points per game last year while sharing and losing out on those short yardage touchdowns to Ezekiel Elliott. They're talking about slowing down the pace of play in Dallas. I think his workload could be really strong. They've done nothing to really suggest that role, that touchdown role, is going to be taken away from him. Ronald Jones is there. Malik Davis is there. Deuce Vaughn is there. I think this is what Dallas is going with it at running back, and I think that they're going to lean heavily on Pollard in a franchise tag year, and I think he's over the fibula injury. Would love to get him in the middle of round 2.
Yeah.
I'd be okay taking him late round 1, to be completely honest with you. When he's there, I think about kind of waiting till round 2, coming back around in round 2 to get him, but I don't want to miss out on him. It really depends on who else is there and what the format is.
Yeah, I've got him as my number 17 player, so more like mid round 2, but look, I'm willing to take him at the end of round 1 if I want a running back, because I think, if Josh Jacobs isn't there, if Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor aren't there, I think he's the next best guy after that. I just have some wide receivers ranked ahead of him. Who's another value you like?
We seem to really gravitate toward Anthony Richardson on our podcast, and his ADP is almost at the end of round 10. It is at the end of round 10, 119.3. There's so much upside with him. I don't think I need to really get into why. He's just an unbelievable runner. I think he's NFL ready as far as that goes. Seems mature at knowing when to run. It's his passing that's going to scare everybody off. I think it's a little bit of a concern that maybe he won't begin the year as the starter in Indianapolis. Obviously, if I have him ranked as a top 12 quarterback, I'm expecting him to be the starter in week 1. We'll see what training camp brings. But the other factor that really helps A-Rich is that there are so many veteran quarterbacks that you can draft after him and even potentially use as your week 1 starter. Guys like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. This is in no order, by the way.
Jared Goff last year
Jared
was a top 8 quarterback.
Did you see the reports about Goff in training camp
today?
It
sounds like the Lions offense is looking pretty good so far.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that there are a slew of quarterbacks that can get you around 20 points per game in a 6-point per passing touchdown league. And Richardson's got upside to beat that. So why not go and take a quarterback that has that type of upside and then you take another one after him that's got a solid, safe floor.
All right, we don't have a lot of time left, but that's okay because we're going to be negative for the last minute or so. Give me a couple values you aren't taking.
DK Metcalf is going just way too soon for my taste. ADP of 29.79. We know that he's going to be losing out on target share, not only to Tyler Lockett, but also to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and also to the running backs that the Seattle Seahawks drafted. A little bit nervous about taking DK Metcalf in round 3. You're not going to see me do that in any format.
3 full rounds ahead of Tyler Lockett right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like a much better bargain to get Lockett. George Kittle, 58th overall, end of round 5, ahead of Kyle Pitts. I'd rather have Pitts. I think he's got more upside.
Yeah, Kittle, it's just the thing I keep coming back to with San Francisco is that if everybody's healthy, it's a math problem. Is he going to get more than 6 targets per game? Can he be, a top 5 tight end on 6 targets per game? Both of those are possible, but it's a really narrow path with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey there for the full season. So we did see Brock Purdy has been cleared. He will not start training camp on the PUP list. I think that's a good sign for the 49ers offense if he can play anywhere close to the way he did last season. But even then, it's just a lot of mouths to feed in San Francisco's offense that makes it hard to bet on really any of those guys, especially the pass catchers outside of Christian McCaffrey. So I agree with you. That's a tough pill to swallow, and that's going to do it for FFT and 5. We'll see you tomorrow.